I've been 6 years on the council now, and I am the council's representative to the Napa Vallejo Waste Management Authority. Just finished up my year as chair, actually.
And what is the authority's charge?
Well, the authority is the transfer station for the solid waste, municipal solid waste that comes in from both the city of Napa, the county of Napa, American Canyon, and the city of Vallejo. And then they also have various recycling programs and the like to reduce our waste.
And they have a hazardous waste facility, I believe?
They do have a hazardous waste facility. We have pretty successful programs in hazardous waste and in paint. So some really good programs out there to try to make a difference.
And I was told that your annual budget is about $550,000 and that's tripled in the last 5 years. Do you know why?
A lot of it has to do with programs that we've tried to implement to make a difference in terms of the amount that we are able to recycle. So a lot of those are costs that are that are added to what we just basically our mandated charge, but that increased cost has somewhat to do with what we're trying to do to make a difference.
And I know that there was a program called LESS that you've done locally to try and capture some of the fluorescent lamps. It's called the Lighting Efficiency and Safe Stewardship Program. Can you tell us a little about that? Yeah,
that's been our first really extended producer program, I believe, and we're very proud of it. We've implemented it into 4 sites here in the city of Napa, and in those 4 sites we've had over 3,000 CFLs and 3,000 tubes recycled, so over a ton of those products returned and kept out of the landfill in a year. So we received an energy efficiency and conservation blunt grant, used it in a number of different ways, including a sustainability coordinator. But one of the ways we used it was to implement that program, which again we've been pretty proud of.
And that was transitional to producer responsibility, in that the producers aren't really engaged, but you do have local retailers engaged in Sustainable Napa.
That's correct. And so, you know, we've gotten some retailers engaged. We'd love to get a lot more engaged. I think we can make an even greater impact, because I do think we're still getting a number of those in the waste stream, and which of course means the mercury involved with it in the waste stream as well. So I'd love to see that program expanded, but right now we're pretty happy with just the 4 sites getting that far.
And lamps are one of the products that are banned from disposal by the state in 2006. It includes batteries and other products. Have those disposal bans worked, in your opinion?
You know, unfortunately, I don't think they've worked well enough. So I think, you know, the state, as sometimes happens, put these in without, you know, realizing they were a necessity, I believe, but also not funding any type of way to implement recycling of those products, and or even coming up with sort of concepts to do it, or maybe even not even getting out and, I think, using the sort of the influence the state has to see it through. And so I don't think they're anywhere near as effective as they should be. I think that we are still getting a great number of batteries, certainly, and fluorescents in the waste stream, and it could be better if we could, particularly if we could bring in more convenient sites, if we could get some of the national retailers involved, so that you know, whatever it needs to happen to make them more involved, so that it would be more convenient. Because if it's not convenient to the public, it's not going to happen.
And do you have any messages you'd like to send state officials and producers that may be watching this video?
Well, I think the most important thing is keep working on a partnership to keep this moving forward. Again, I think the public, at least that I hear from, and I'm, you know, I have a couple kids, and they're in. It's interesting because I have a child in middle school and a child in high school, and they're really at the age where recycling and these concept of responsibility comes into play, and they're all about participating. They want to be part of it, but until they get to the consumer part where they recognize, hey, I have all these other things to do. How am I going to do my part to recycle that if I don't know where to go or what to do? That's the real challenge, is that unless we make it, it's being implemented into their lives where it's a part of their psyche that they need to do these things. It's an important part of what they do. But unless we continue to make it something that's easy, something that they get in their everyday life, we've gotten recycling from almost nothing now to curbside mixed recycling, where vast majority of these people have changed over and now have changed their patterns and their habits and how they look at their waste stream at home. We need to do that with the products that we know are toxic to our landfills and to the public as a whole. So I think that we need to keep moving down the path. We need to keep finding convenient ways and ideas that the public can grasp and really get a hold of. That isn't this, even if we just put a diversion down at our down at the authority, not enough people are going to go down there and do it. It's 5 miles out of town. It just isn't doable. We need to find out ways, and we need the state and these producers to find out ways to make it something that's real doable.
So your message is to normalize the recovery system through the producers and the partnerships with government.
Yeah, because I think the normalization is getting there into the public. I think the idea of it is getting into the public, especially as we move towards another generation of consumers, and that's really what we all are. And so I think that's there. It's in their head. We just have to normalize. How do they get rid of them? And that is really the important concept, I think.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.